Yo, what's going down, everybody? It is Straight Outta Boston here. Today I'm back for episode number 47 of my Pittsburgh Pirates franchise series here on MLB 17 The Show. So, simulating up onto the end of the regular season, we made a couple August trades, some waiver trades, a couple left-handed relievers that I was targeting. One was Bill Favre here from the Anaheim Angels farm system, a guy who was in AAA but had some pretty impressive strikeout numbers, who I thought could be good depth for us. And then Jake Dykman, who was available from Texas, and who has really been struggling this season and was available for a very low-cost free agent at the end of the year. So it only cost me Gage Hintz, a pretty fringe, kind of depth organizational piece at this point, fringe prospect, I would say. So it really cost us nothing to get him. I added him to the postseason roster, or the 25-man on August 30th, which is basically the postseason roster in this game, over Cliff Hinson, who had to go through waivers, but did not get claimed. Fortunately, I don't really know how, because he has been pretty good for us this year. But finishing up the regular season, we end up winning 115 games to become one win shy of the all-time record for wins in a regular season, which, of course, was done by Seattle, a team that won 116 games in 2001. Of course, the 1906 Cubs had the highest win percentage of all time in a season. I think they were 136, or they were 106 and 36 or something like that, and 100 in a 142-game season. But our first round opponent's going to be the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs won the wild card game this year. They lost the wild card game last year. This year they defeated the Washington Nationals in the wild card rounds. The Nationals fell to the Mets in the division. The Mets were the East Division champions in the National League this year. So anyway, utilizing the new Quick Manage feature, which I showed off in the last episode for the first time, to get through these first playoff games before we get to the elimination games in a given series. So we're taking on Chicago here, game one. It's Jake Arrieta versus Tanaka. We were getting no hit there for the first 3 innings, but we break through for 3 runs in the 4th. We give Tanaka a 3-0 lead now to work with, as he is cruising so far. 6 shutout innings. We tally 5 more runs in the 6th. That pretty much puts the game out of hand, and we would go on to win 8-0. Tanaka with the complete game shutout. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 6 hits allowed, and no runs for the Cubs. Game number 2, it's Jacob deGrom versus the 21-year-old phenom for the Cubs, Mario Rivera. And it's Rivera getting the better of deGrom so far here tonight. We finally get a couple runs in the 6th to make it a 3-2 ball game. Now trying to make a pitching change here in the top half of the 7th. It's Barrett Boyce keeping it a 1-run lead for the Cubs. Now Michael Tonkin works a 1-2-3 7th onto the 8th. Boyce still out there with the off day tomorrow. We're going to let him work a 2nd inning in a row, and he pitches a scoreless 8th, as he did allow 1 base runner. Now on to the bottom of the 8th. Carl Edwards Jr. on. Gives up a leadoff single to Thames, a 2-out single to Vina. That puts 2 men on for the pinch hitter Robert Woodson. But Woodson strikes out. That sends the game to the 9th. Still down by a run. We put our closer in to try and keep it a 1-run game. Melanson working the 9th now gives up a 1-out walk, but works around that. Pitches a clean 9th onto the bottom half. Kimbrel out. Kimbrel retires the first 2 men, walks Justin Turner. Esposito singles, pushing the tying run to 90 feet away. It's Eric Thames who grounds out to end off the ball game. So the Cubs come back and even up the series at a game apiece with a game-to-2 victory by a final score of 3-2. So game 3, another good pitching matchup. This time Chris Archer, the guy who started the wild card round for the Cubs, against Johnny Cueto, our number 3 starter. And it's Pittsburgh getting the best of Chicago so far, 3-1 lead through 5.5. Cueto still out there working the 6th inning. On to the 7th we go. Still 3-1. Now the Cubs digging into their bullpen as it's Pedro Strop. We are still rolling with the starter Cueto, who is going to pitch another 1-2-3 inning right there, as Juan Cabrera mysteriously came into the game in the middle of that inning. I think it was for a Starling Marte injury, but Marte would be fine. We're actually going to go back-to-back right there, a 3-run home run and then a solo home run, pushes our lead to 7-1. So I'm giving Cueto some leeway right now, letting him give up 1 run. We throw out another runner at home to keep it a 7-2 ball game, as Cueto gets to the 8th. I am on to the 9th now. We end up not pushing across any more runs, but Cueto on for the 9th himself. He finishes off the complete game, saves our bullpen for this game number 4, and we have a 2-1 series lead now, as we have a chance at advancing to the National League Championship Series for the 5th consecutive year. We've moved on to the NLCS every single season in this franchise so far. It was a pretty unexpected run in year number 1, a little bit of a more expected run in year number 2, and then finally we broke through for that World Series title in year number 3, as that was the first time we actually won the National League Championship Series. But we have not been able to win it since we lost. Actually, we lost in the World Series last year, so we didn't win it again last year. But anyway, we're in the division series this time around, trying to advance. It's Marte getting the game going with a leadoff single. Then he's stealing on the pitch, and it gets by the catcher. So Marte's actually going to advance all the way to third base on the play. and he is there with no one out in the inning. A good run-scoring opportunity for Gregory Polanco, who notches an RBI single up the middle for a base hit there that gives the Pirates a 1-0 lead here in the top half of the first inning. Later in the inning now, it's Turner up at the dish. Polanco moving on the pitch, trying to take advantage of Arrieta's pretty slow motion out of the stretch, but he's not able to do so as he's thrown out at second base. So Turner's still up now with 1 out in the inning and a 2-1 count. He rips one back up the middle for a base hit. That is going to get things going once again here for the Pirates in the top of the first with 1 out now. It's Eric Thames up with a man on, facing Arrieta, the 1-1 count. He goes the other way with that one, hitting it to deep left field. This ball's deep and gone over the fencing there and into the left field bleachers, as Pittsburgh now takes a 3-0 lead here in the first inning after an RBI single from Polanco and then a 2-run homer for Eric Thames, as they have jumped out to an early 3-0 lead now. Arrieta surrendering 3 runs already. Now he's facing Sanchez with 2 outs in the inning. Sanchez goes down on the breaking pitch, and that gets Arrieta out of the jam. On to the bottom half of the first. Take a look at Chicago's starting lineup here tonight. See some pretty familiar faces there. Colin Cowgill, kind of an unexpected name to see there in right field, but other than that, pretty familiar names all around in this Cubs lineup. There's a nice diving play by Turner, who gets the out at second. They don't turn to. So Rizzo's up now with 1 out in the inning. It's Henry Alvarez making the start for the Pirates here tonight, as he gives up a single here. That's going to get the runner over to third base. So first and third now with 1 out in the inning. Kyle Schwarber is the next man up. He's got a full count. And the pitch from Alvarez just misses for ball 4. So Schwarber is on now. The bases will be loaded for the next man up, Chris Bryant, as he's got a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch from Alvarez. That's a base hit back up the middle. Marte is going to come up firing. Runner being waved around, and he will score. 2 runs across line. Chris Bryant's single, and that makes it 3-2 Pirates. Now the Cubs are on the board. It is Baez striking out on the slider out of the zone 2 away. Now Alvarez 1 out away from getting out of the jam, still with the lead. He's facing Albert Almora. Runners off on the pitch. That ball flown to left field. The wind carrying this one all the way to the warning track, but Polanco will stop there and make the play for the final out of the inning. So an eventful first. We get to the second now, still 3-2. It is Ian Happ up facing Alvarez. Actually, this is Cowgill, excuse me. And it's Cowgill striking out. So Alvarez picking up his second K of the day. Now it's Turner up. He strikes out. 2 strikeouts on the ledger for Arrieta so far, as he is starting to settle in. Bottom 3, it's Wilson Contreras at the dish. He's got 2 strikes on him. He's going to line one towards right center field. Meadows tries to make the play. Does not get there in time. Marte cuts it off as the backup, but that's going to allow Contreras to cruise into second base. He's got himself a double with 1 out in the inning. Now it's Schwarber up and Contreras up on third, but a big strikeout on the slurve there from Alvarez. So Alvarez has kind of a unique pitch mix. He throws a slurve and a curveball, and I think this game I pretty much abandoned the slurve by like the 3rd or 4th inning. Although I got the strikeout there, I had the curveball working way more effectively. Alvarez does work himself out of the inning right there, out of the jam, by inducing the flyout, so the game remains 3-2. But then other than the 2 similar breaking pitches, he throws your standard fastball changeup, giving him a solid 3-pitch mix. There is almost a double play ball. Meadows beats it out. That makes it first and third, keeps in first and third with 1 out. After the next man, Vina, would be walked. It's the pitcher Alvarez up. That's a double play ball, and that is going to be executed. That will get the Cubs out of the inning there. So nothing across for Pittsburgh. They strand the bases loaded. It is Albert Almora leading things off here in the 4th. A great play by Turner, though, when he throws out the speedy Almora at first. An unbelievable play by the aging Justin Turner, who has definitely lost a step over there defensively at third as he has aged into his late 30s, but still pretty solid defensively, as you saw right there, making a spectacular play. Now in the 5th, it's Turner up after Polanco singled and Marte walked. Now it's Turner with a single into right field for a base hit. Marte being waved around third. The throw is cut off. The relay is in time to get him. So they cut down Marte at home. Turner to second, Polanco to third. And a weird animation right there. Some interesting, an interesting camera angle by MLB Network right there, I will say that. Anyway, that would do it for Arrieta. His night is done. The manager comes out and turns to his bullpen. It's Rick Porcello working out of the pen after being a starter during the regular season. And he actually strikes out Thames right there, but the pitch gets away, and they call Polanco out at the plate. This was a really terrible call. I don't quite understand how this made any sense, but you'll see pretty clearly right there. It looks like his hand is on the plate, and Porcello has yet to apply the tag, but they would call him out for the second out of the inning. Next batter is Esposito. He hits one to the right field. That will finally get a runner home safely, as we had two guys thrown out at the plate now this inning. But we do get a run across on Esposito single. Meadows up later in the inning. He's going to ground out for the third and final out of the inning as Rizzo makes the play at first. We do push across one more, making it a 4-2 ball game now, bottom 5. Addison Russell up leading things off. He's going to hit one towards right center field. Meadows misplayed one earlier, but makes a nice running grab out there in right for the first out of the innings. We've seen the Pirates flash the leather a little bit here tonight. Now it's Adam Frazier pinch hitting in Henry Alvarez's spot here in the 6th. He's going to rope one down the right field line, and that is going to get into the corner. Frazier digging for extra bases. He's got second base easily, but he's thinking 3. The relay throw from Baez is not in time. Frazier diving in there with a head-first dive as he is safe. That gets a man to third base with one out for Starling Marte, a pretty high contact hitter. And just a man you want up in that spot. He flies one to center. That will get the job done as Frazier scores on the sacrifice fly from Marte. That makes it 5-2 Pirates. Now in the 6th inning, it is Barrett Boyce working for the Pirates bullpen as he strikes out Schwarber there on that Vulcan change that he throws. His 5th pitch. It was 5-pitch mix. Not something you see from a reliever too often, but his 5th pitch works pretty well as he strikes out Bryant there with that changeup. That would go for the second out of the inning, and he would pitch a 1-2-3-6. On to the top of the 7th, it's Thames hitting that one the other way. He's got his second extra base hit here of the night as he will head into second base safely with a double as we get another man in scoring position for Austin Meadows now after the next man would walk. It's 2 on with 1 out. That is going to get through into center field for a base hit. Thames being waved around. The throw goes to third. Polanco kind of hung up, and now the base running gets completely messed up on my part, and Thames gets tagged out in between third and home. We do get the runners up to second and third now. After the next man, Vigna would walk. It's a pinch hitter, Robert Woodson. And Woodson lines one down the left field line. That's going to score 2, maybe 3. Rattling around in the corner. The left fielder plays it. Schwarber gets it in as quickly as he can, but it's not going to be quick enough. Vigna scores. It's a bases-clearing triple for Robert Woodson as he blows the lead open for the Pirates. It's now 8-2 Pittsburgh here in the 7th. Michael Tonkin would come on for the Cubs and retire Starling Marte via the strikeout, but the damage has been done. On to the bottom of the 7th we go. Osuna taking over now as he is going to get the strikeout of Almora. Now he's facing Hayward. Hayward goes down on the changeup. That would be good for the third and final out of the inning. Osuna sends us to the 8th. He's working the 8th as well, striking out Rizzo there, his 3rd K of the night, as he's gotten 5 outs so far, looking for out number 6, and he gets it. Chris Bryant strikes out this time on the changeup. 4 Ks for Osuna, 2 shutout innings, sending this game to the 9th, where Mark Melanson is going to take over, facing Javi Baez. That ball hit well to center, but it's Marte on the run, making another nice running catch. The Pirates defense has surely showed up tonight, and is a big reason why the Cubs only have 2 runs, now 3 runs, after Melanson would surrender 1 run in the inning. But with the bases loaded and 2 out, he induces the pop fly from Rizzo. Vigna is there, and the Pirates are moving on to the National League Championship Series for the 5th consecutive season. And I'm not sure if that's some sort of record, but I imagine it would be, because the Championship Series didn't even exist until the 80s, I'm pretty sure. And then they didn't add any division series until the wild card was added in 1995, I want to say. But I think the Championship Series only dates back to like 1981 or 1982 maybe, after the strike-shortened season. But either way, that's got to be a record, 5 straight Championship Series appearances. I'll probably try to look that up, see if I can find anything before the next video. But anyway, a 3-1 series win for the Pirates, capped off in an 8-2 victory in game number 4. Thames as your player of the game, 2 for 5 with a home run and a double, drove in a pair of runs and scored 1 himself. Henry Alvarez would get the win as the starting pitcher, working 5 innings, surrendering 2 earned runs. Not too sharp, wasn't too impressed by him, but he did do his job to limit the damage kind of time in and time again, allowed some base runners, but worked out of some jams, and all in all held the Cubs to 2 runs in 5 innings, which really isn't that bad. So cannot complain. That is going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all in the Championship Series. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.